The Indigenous Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to the Indigenous Podcast. I'm Pastor Crespo. Thank you for joining us. We are here today with a special guest that we're going to interview, but we're going to hold off on that just yet. Let me first say hello to my partner here on the podcast. Pastor Effer, how are you?
Hey, Miguel. It's wonderful to see you again for like almost a year. We haven't seen each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Last time was 2025,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, the last podcast we had was 2025, but now it's 2026, so it's a year.
Well, no, that's not true. We did the New Year episode. So
But-
that wasn't that long ago. It was already 26.
Yeah.
So I
That
think you
makes
just
sense.
have a bad memory.
Yeah. Well, the memory is declining now, but I'm happy, Miguel, to see you again.
Yeah.
And most especially, I'm happy to have our guest right here, Dr. Brian Thompson. You are welcome here on the podcast,
Thank you.
indigenouspodcast.org. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Thank you both for allowing me to be here today.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it is our privilege, and so we're here. Before we get to the questions, and we're here to talk with you today. But I want to share with you all. You know, we like to start this episode with some history. You know, they say that the victors are the ones that write the story, but there are all sorts of things that happen in between, and so we want to share a little bit of history with you. So, Pastor Effer, I just was doing a little research.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So this day in Indigenous people's history took me all the way to India.
That's far.
That's
We're in the
it's only that far on the map. But,
Okay, all right.
but into India. And so today, March 5 marks what they call the, I have to bring up the picture here. This is the day that marks the signing of the Gandhi and Irwin Pact. So Lord Irwin was representing the British.
British.
If you know Gandhi actually, I don't know if you know this. I didn't just till recently.
Yeah.
Gandhi was an attorney.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He's a lawyer, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And so he was obviously instrumental in leading this push for independence from the British. You know, again, the British had an empire pretty much spanning a lot of the world.
Yeah.
And so he led this, what we refer to now as kind of civil disobedience, this movement. Gandhi was not really even appreciated by some of his own people.
Yeah.
Because I think the civil disobedience comes at a cost.
Yeah.
And if you imagine being repressed and having your rights taken away, no, Gandhi held firm. And in March 5, 1931, they signed this pact. And I'm not sure that it led to the end of the oppression, but it went a long ways to help in Indian independence.
It did slow down though.
Yeah.
It did slow down.
So we recognize that that effort, and we recognize, of course, the freedom for independence. Everybody wants to be free.
Yeah. It's true. So Miguel, thank you for that historical facts, because we would like right here in Indigenous Podcast to be historical and factual, because that's the most important thing when we are, having this kind of program for the people to be informed. And Doc, again, we are so happy and thrilled that you are here with us.
Thank you.
After many rescheduling, because it don't work for me, it don't work for him, it don't work for you. So
Yeah.
finally we come together in one mind and one accord.
That's
And
right.
now, Doc, I would like to ask first.
We have to find better schedules.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So how
it's-
are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like spring is starting to kind of poke
Oh,
itself
yes.
out a little bit.
Oh,
Weather's
yeah.
starting to improve.
Yeah.
Always happens, around the beginning, middle of March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can feel it,
And- Yeah. That means I am advanced, because I'm already thinking about summer. As a matter of fact, I wear like this. Because it's
You're already
summer.
thinking about summer?
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's called hope.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Doc, tell us a little bit of your educational and native background or any
Sure.
interest that you have.
Sure. I'm an Oneida, Wolf Clan.
Yeah.
So I grew up at the Onondaga Nation, just outside of Syracuse, and the Oneida Nation
Yeah.
in Oneida. And then I moved to the city of Syracuse and ended up going to Syracuse University.
Wow.
And I graduated from Syracuse University
Mm-hmm.
back yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay. let's put it that way.
1987.
Hey, that was
No, wait,
yesterday.
was it 1987? Nope. Actually, it was not. It was 1980. 82, 83.
You
but
studied
then-
medicine at SU?
Yeah. No, actually, I went to college at Syracuse University.
Oh, okay,
Then I
okay.
went to Upstate Medical University.
Mhm.
Oh,
Used to be
okay, I see.
called SUNY Health Science Center at Syracuse.
Wow.
And I graduated from there in 1990.
Wow. And then now you're a doctor.
That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
But 87, I believe it was college I graduated.
That college, and then the medicine is 91.
91.
Wow.
So you've been
that's
practicing
awesome.
medicine for 34 years, something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been a doctor. I'd be a doctor for 35 years.
Wow.
But then after medical school, you do something called residency where you
Yeah.
further your training a little bit into
Yeah.
a specialty. So,
Right.
and OBGYN, I'm an obstetrician and gynecologist.
Wow.
Okay.
But I do kind of work a lot now with just delivering babies,
Mhm.
Okay.
managing moms during their pregnancies.
Yeah.
So I've been a practicing physician since 90.
95.
Dr. Thompson, you mentioned something that I thought was kind of funny
Mm.
before we got on
Yeah.
to record. We talked about being a resident
Mm.
and that the hours that they work is like, it's crazy. You do
Yeah.
all this and you said there's a reason why they named them residents. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're called residents because you used to be a resident of the hospital. You lived in the hospital
Yeah.
itself. You were there 24/7. That's where
24/7.
you lived, and
Yeah.
and there was something to it because you can when a patient somebody comes in
Mhm.
and you see what's going on with them,
Mm.
and sometimes they're admitted to the hospital, and
Mhm.
you can see the entirety of what is going
Yeah.
on with them over the course of time,
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
the course of days. And
Yeah.
I think there's maybe just a little old fashioned or
Mhm,
old
mhm,
school, but
mhm.
there's something about when you develop that relationship with another person
Mhm.
where
Mhm.
if they needed you
Yeah.
at that moment and they were in the hospital,
Yeah.
you would be there for them
Yeah.
Wow.
at
Yeah.
any time,
Mhm.
Right.
any hour,
Mm-mm.
any minute.
Yeah.
Right.
And it develops a different type of attitude,
Yes.
I think, and a philosophy of
So
how you care
you-
for patients.
You mentioned about staying and being a resident of the
Yeah.
hospital.
Yeah.
So when you went through medical school, did you do that as a resident, or were the laws changed by then?
No, there was no requirement. Nowadays there's it's mandated law that a resident can only that are in training
Mhm.
after you complete medical school, you get your MD degree or a DO. It's called a DO
Mhm.
degree, doctor of medicine or
Yeah.
doctor of osteopathy.
Mhm.
Then you go on to further training, which is
Okay.
your residency.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But when you're a resident, you can only now work up to 80 hours per week.
Wow.
80 hours a week and 24 hours at any one time. So there's different
Right.
different things that
So now they allow doctors to be lazy. They can only work 80 hours a
only
week.
work 80 hours.
Only 80
That's
hours.
it per week.
That's
But when I was
Yeah.
a resident, that law was not in place.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was a lot more than 80 hours. a
Yeah,
week.
yeah. So I mean, I'm just curious.
Mhm.
When did they make accommodations for residents? Like, for example, for you to sleep there, or did you just grab a gurney and get whatever rest you could?
Yeah. So when you're a resident, when I was a resident, there were like a call room where you could stay
Uh-huh.
if you needed to.
Mhm.
Okay.
Sometimes, but a lot of times when you're a resident, you are up the entire time. You're always working.
Wow.
So
So I can only imagine how you guys sleep. If the word
you
is
get
the word
really
sleep-
good at it.
Yeah.
So
It's the
if you
word
find a
sleep
little
still-
break, you take a nap.
Yeah, man. And here's the thing. I understand. Correct me if I'm wrong. That even patients from Canada coming here, right? And
Patients from Canada. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone from Canada came to any hospital,
yeah, yeah.
they would still care for them.
Wow. I can only
Yeah.
imagine how
Would
many.
never be turned away.
Yeah. How I can only imagine how many babies you have delivered in this world.
Well,
Thousands.
how many have you did? That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
If my memory serves me correctly,
Mhm.
there was and I may be wrong on the
Mhm.
magazine and the time,
Mhm.
but I'll just say it was a very prominent magazine during the time, and they had I remember that there was a doctor.
Mhm.
He was an OBGYN,
Mhm.
and I believe it was somewhere in the Midwest,
Mm.
or because it was taken in a large flat field.
Mm.
And when he was the only doctor for miles
Wow.
and miles and miles around, and he
Yeah.
delivered everybody.
Wow.
And so when he retired,
Mm.
and he was quite old at the time. I
Mhm.
couldn't tell you how many years he
Mhm.
was in delivering babies. But when he retired, everyone that he delivered
Game.
Oh wow.
came
Wow.
with their families.
Wow.
And it was just thousands of
Thousands with
people,
thousands.
which was essentially the entire county or
Yeah.
the entire
That's something.
area. And they all took this picture.
Yeah.
I remember he was in front and everyone was in back of,
Yeah.
of
Wow.
all these people,
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
in this cornfield.
Do you have a number? How many have you delivered in your 35 years?
Well,
of-
I'll just take and it's probably, I would probably say more than that. But if you say 200 deliveries a year,
Okay.
Wow. For 35 years.
but it's
All right, somebody
but
online
I'm sure
do
it's
math.
more than
Yeah.
200
Lel,
deliveries
Lel.
a year.
Let's say
200 times 35 is
Yeah.
going to be
You know,
600.
I mean, if you do,
Yeah.
if you do
Something.
yeah,
15 to 20 deliveries a month.
Almost 7,000.
7,000.
7,000. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
200 a year. Wow. Ooh,
That's a lot of.
a lot.
So, okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of kids.
Your first delivery.
Yeah.
Can you not graphically, but I want to, can you describe the feeling? Yeah, the feeling. Were you scared? Were you kind of like, no, I got this. Were you young and cocky, or
Sure.
how was that? What was that?
I'll
like?
tell you a better story. How about this one?
Go ahead.
I'll tell you the minute that I can tell you like it happened yesterday.
Mhm.
And when you're in medical school, you go through 4 years of medical school. Third year,
Mm.
you kind of like almost like you rotate through all these different
Mhm, mhm.
clerkships.
Yeah.
And so you might go through 3 months of internal medicine
Mhm.
and 6 weeks of pediatrics and
Mhm.
6 weeks of general surgery, and
Mhm.
then finally hit obstetrics and gynecology.
Mhm.
I am. And I had no intention when I was applying to medical school or being in medical school of wanting to be an OBGYN. There were other things that I wanted to do.
Mhm.
And really didn't have any thought of it at all, really any interest in it at all.
Mhm.
And I don't know how many people are younger or older on your podcast, but
Mhm.
they used to have these things that used to be hanging on the wall. They were called telephones.
I
And you,
think I've heard of them. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
heard of them? Yeah.
I somehow, yeah.
And you pick them up and you
Yeah.
know, and you anyway, I remember that when I was a third year medical student,
Mhm.
my first day of
Mhm.
my rotation
In OBGYN.
in OBGYN, and I was standing next to this doctor.
Mhm.
They call it an attending, someone who's your teacher, graduated, has
Mhm.
been through all of the training.
Mhm.
And we were just introducing each other. We were
Yeah.
talking like we are now. Hey,
Mhm.
where are you from? What do you
Mhm.
do? What's your interests?
Mhm.
Oh, and all of a sudden the phone rings,
Mhm.
and it was just me and him.
Mhm.
And the phone rings, and he goes, "Hey, we gotta go do a delivery. There's a heart rate that's gone down, and
Wow.
I need to go get her delivered right
Mhm.
now."
Mhm.
And we literally went running down the hallway.
Mhm.
And,
Were you scared?
And oh yeah, I didn't know what was going on. I had never seen anything.
Yeah.
Never saw a baby be born.
Mhm, mhm.
Really didn't have any interest in this
Yeah.
at all. And walked in, and he was the most calm, cool, collected,
Mhm.
humble,
Mhm.
incredible bedside manner, and it was
Mhm.
just like a soft voice that said, "Your baby's heart rate is down. I need to get your baby delivered. I'm not going to hurt your baby, and everything's going to be okay."
Mhm.
Mm.
Wow.
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 And he delivered this baby,
Mhm.
and my mouth just dropped. And have you ever? I don't know if you've ever seen it, and I haven't seen this movie in a
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
time, except with my kids, and it's been a long time. But there was a movie called Monsters Inc.
Yes.
Mm.
Have you
Yeah.
ever heard of Monsters Inc?
Yes. Yeah.
And then
Absolutely.
there-
With the
and I-
doors and the.
and
Going through the different doors.
Yeah.
and there's like I think two of what is it, Mike and Sully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I can't remember which one is which, but I remember that there was this one scene where these monsters. It was almost like the astronauts, like they were kind of walking down this big hallway, and he might have. I think it was the shorter one, the one that I don't know which one that was, but I remember he was just enthralled, just amazed with these other monsters
What
that were
happened?
walking down.
Yeah.
And I remember him looking at them, and his mouth just dropped, and wow, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
That's what
and
you
that was
felt.
me.
Wow.
I remember seeing this baby be born, and it was the most incredible thing that I've ever seen in my life. It was just amazing to watch.
Isn't that something?
And just literally
Yeah.
just like a snap of a finger.
Yeah.
That's
Another life.
exactly knew what I wanted to do.
Wow.
Wow. That inspired you right there.
Inspired me right there. Never turned back.
Wow.
Wow.
But that's amazing. You don't even realize
that
it.
is
Yeah.
exactly the moment.
That's awesome. It's
Yeah.
like you don't realize. It's funny how you can go from 0 to 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know. It's just one experience that changes the direction of your
Yeah.
life. Isn't that something?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's like
Yeah.
from zero, I have no idea what this specific field I will go into proud to expertise. But when you saw that thing happen, I want this. I want this.
I'll tell you a story as well.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
before I became a pastor, I was in working with computers and copiers. I was a technician. I managed the department, but what it turned out to become is I was their main troubleshooter.
Yeah.
So when a salesman had a big deal, he would take me with him
Yeah.
to talk to their tech people while he talked to their people with the purchasing authority. And so the salesman, we have $100,000 deal on the, we have a $500,000 deal on the line. I want you to come. So when we got the deal, that was like, imagine hunting, taking down a big elk or something. You
Sure.
got the prize. But when I started to go into the prison on Friday night with our church group and just work with the people there and see people respond, I said, I enjoy more hanging out with these convicted robbers and killers. I enjoyed that experience more than this $500,000 deal going and trying to win it. And I never expected that. You just, your life turns around and say, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
I know I'm supposed to do this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
incredible. That's amazing.
Isn't that incredible?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes, when you're not looking for something is when you find it.
Yeah. Yeah. So just a question then. You have, of course, so you've been practicing medicine for all 35 years here in the Syracuse area?
Since 95. No, I started out, I trained in Texas for my residency, and then I went to Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
And then I came back to Syracuse in 2004.
Okay.
Wow.
I've been here for 22 years.
Okay.
Back
So-
home.
Yeah.
Being Native American, having roots here, especially, was any part of your calling to medicine to say, I want to help my people, or was it just a general, I want to help mankind, or was there any part of that had a connection with your background?
I think in general you want to help people, but I think being a native physician, you want to help your own people. When you look at all the health disparities and all the problems and premature death rate or incidence of dying early, less than 65, or all these different medical problems that occur for Native people, and seeing it within your relatives, your community, your friends that you grew up with, it really does pull you back.
Yeah.
And I think being a Native physician, I always think of it just like it is.
Yeah.
I'm a Native physician. I'm Native first, and then I'm a physician.
Okay.
So I have my culture and all that encompasses. I think that helps me to be a better physician and a better care provider. But what I think what also the few number of Native physicians there are that weight that's put upon them is to also be advocate
Mm,
So
advocates.
you're a native physician advocate,
Yeah.
and because you are constantly advocating for better care, for
Yeah.
increased resources,
Yeah.
for improvement of health disparities, for access to care,
Yeah.
for all the things that a lot of us take for granted. You know, I take for granted my health insurance.
Yeah.
I probably take for granted. I'm sure the house over my head and
Sure.
and
Your car runs.
yeah, but
Yeah.
but a lot of people I care for, they don't know where that next meal is going to come
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
They don't know. You'd say, I'll just go make an appointment. Come see me in 2 weeks. Make an appointment.
Yeah.
But you may not think that really think about it.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to teach medical students and residents,
Mm-hmm.
and also try to remind and continue to teach myself.
Yeah.
Not for all people, it isn't just go make an appointment in 2 weeks. It may be, well, how am I going to get there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who's going to watch my children?
Yes, exactly.
Is my employer going to let me take off that time?
So you're caring for more than
Yes,
just
yes.
the
You're
issue. It's the whole.
you gotta
person.
think of the person as
Yeah.
a whole.
He bears the weight.
Yeah.
You know?
So let me just a question. If maybe we could break some of those things up and talk about them. But I'm curious. We interviewed Dr. Catherine Clutie, who's a resident right now, a few months back. But how in your time? So we're talking now going back now 35 plus years.
Yeah.
How many? I want to ask it a different way. Is the field of medicine something that a lot of Native Americans go into? Are there a lot of Native American doctors, or is there? I'm assuming there are not, but is it percentage wise in line with the percentage of Native Americans to the general population, or is this something that not a lot of Native Americans go into as a field? I'm curious about that aspect of
Sure.
of the.
Sure.
medicine.
I mean, it's a difficult field to go into. There's a lot of science, a lot of math, a lot of prerequisites. You have to do well in school and high school to get into college. You have to do well in college to get into medical school. You have to do well in medical school to get into a residency.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's not a lot of role models. And so when I was growing up, I didn't know any other Native physicians. I knew of a Native physician that helped, that I was able to speak with, but that was much later.
Yeah.
I was in college and maybe latter parts of high school, but definitely in college. And so there's really a lack of Native physicians. I'll give you an example. So, and these are rough statistics. So
Right. That's
within the last couple years or so.
Yeah.
But there's a group that accredits, that certifies medical colleges in the United States called Association of American Medical Colleges.
Yeah.
That AAMC doesn't acronym much, but give or take, there's about 53,000 students that apply to medical school in the United States every year. So we'll just use 50,000. That's a lot of people, right?
But
the number of students who are what they would say American Indian, Alaskan Native only is about, or on the last statistic I looked at, was approximately 90.
Only 90
out of the 50,000, roughly about 90.
About 53,000. Wow. And then if you look at the number of those students who actually graduate,
out of 90.
Yeah, that they get admitted and then matriculate, actually go to school, so they get accepted and then they actually go to school, but then actually graduate. It, give or take, is in the high 30s. Like the number that perks out of my head is like 38.
Wow.
So it's about, give or take, about 1 out of every 575, 590.
The ratio,
students in the United
That's
States
because it's so rigorous.
who are Native.
Yeah.
Is that.
Yeah.
Now, if upstate, where I graduated from, who is doing everything that they can to try to help to improve that.
Mhm.
And I really do give amazing credit to the president of Upstate. His name is Dr. Mantosh Dewan. He's just an incredible, amazing human being with such a passionate and humble, compassionate mind. A really amazing doctor, friend. But if 175, give or take, students graduate from Upstate every year, and
In medicine.
almost 1 out of 600 are in the United States on average are native.
Oh,
I mean, you can imagine
yeah.
statistics. So when I was in medical school, there was no other native students at the medical school. So you're kind of always charting this path by yourself, and hopefully that that'll change over time. But unfortunately, really the statistics haven't really changed very much since they've been tracking this and since the early 1970s.
So I have two questions kind of combined into one on that. So did your background as Native American, was there any obstacles? Were there any unique obstacles as a Native American going to medical school? One. And two, if you could wave a magic wand and get more Native doctors, what would you change to get more Native doctors?
Sure. Yeah, I think some of the unique challenges of being a Native physician in the beginning was like what I had said. There was just no other mentors. There was no one really to speak with at the time. I did, and a great organization that helps a lot with this is called the Association of American Indian Physicians. So Native physicians are part of this, and we really all together help to mentor other Native youth that want to go into medicine. So I think trying to find mentors, trying to find other Native individuals who are into sciences, but you do have to be able to know what you want to do and be able to kind of bear that and move through it. But I think that like anyone else, if you have interest in it and you show a genuine interest in it, then you align yourself with professors and mentors that can help you along the path. If it was what would I say? It's well, how could you improve native number of Native physicians in the United States? One is starting we call it STEM or science and technology, mathematics type programs very early,
in high school,
and even much earlier,
elementary, primary,
so that you have those resources. But there are groups. One is called ACES that kind of helps with that, but really trying to promote science and technology and mathematics from a very early age. Having proper mentors, and then having your Native community behind you, and I think that for the vast number of Native communities, they are, but that's just one aspect,
right?
But then having, I think with without becoming political, I mean, when you look at the health disparities within Native individuals, and not everyone wants to go work in a very rural area or go work on Native lands.
Right. They probably don't make as much money.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say? If you do that,
it depends. I mean, you have to, one, it's a calling. So, especially if you're in North Dakota or South
Yeah.
Dakota
Or Alaska.
Alaska.
Yeah.
You can, there's
The
so
remote
many that you
places.
can name.
Yeah.
And even in New York State.
Yeah.
And so, you have to have a calling and a desire to want to
Yeah.
work at that. But I think, you have to have colleges that are interested in these the regions around. And then you have to have medical schools that are also interested in it. And I just flip right back to the institution I'm at, upstate.
Yeah.
I mean, they have not just, have interest in the care of natives, and that comes from the leadership, and on down of the university, but they look at the region itself, state, and you have, not just the city of Syracuse with health disparities or native areas, but when you look at some of the rural areas and in northern New York and the southern tier and all the rural areas,
Yeah.
I mean, you have some of the same health disparities.
Yeah.
Where when I grew up, individuals had lost their farms and or industry has moved out, and you have these same type of health disparities that occur. And I always think too, you think of the Amish population,
Yes.
I mean, you can go on and on and on,
Right.
but when you have a university that really cares about, the family of people within their healthcare region, that in and of itself makes.
So that's what you're seeing here, that they seem to really have that interest in looking.
Yes.
At that.
I know so.
Yeah.
That is
Very good.
true.
That's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or else I wouldn't work there.
Another thing is that also because of a financial challenge as well?
I mean, I'm probably guessing a little bit, but I believe the average student debt of a student who graduates from medical school, give or take, I believe it's $300,000 a year.
Wow.
I remember. I'm an older. I'm not old, but I mean I'm older now. But I remember growing up, maybe in my late teen years, and speaking of the history with India, they had the caste system.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I remember thinking to myself, who are we kidding? We have our own caste system here. There's that as a young man thinking, because if your father was a mechanic, you're going to be a mechanic.
Yeah.
If your father was a baker or an architect, because for the most part we tend to follow what we know.
Yes.
And I'm thinking one of the reasons sometimes we don't see, for example, in this case, a lot of native physicians, as you said, you don't have enough mentors to let people, hey, this is possible. You can do this.
Yes.
And we have, it felt growing up that we had a de facto caste system, but not because it was enforced, but because it was almost like I didn't dare to dream that I could do something else because I came from a very poor family.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so I'm wondering sometimes the importance of mentors. You mentioned that mentors, people,
Mentoring.
if someone's watching, we want to encourage, if you're, if you're a young person or if you're a parent, you already have your kind of future, your life.
Yeah.
But you're thinking about things for your children, future for your children, medicine, science.
Yes.
Get them involved in STEM, science, technology,
STEM, right?
engineering and math.
And
Get them thinking that there's more, even if there isn't a doctor in your family.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be the first one. We want to encourage that.
Yeah.
That we need more mentors. That's something that just as I've been thinking about this whole idea of, I commend you. You plowed the road.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
There was nobody else. So
he's a
hopefully-
trailblazer.
That's right. Hopefully people can find some encouragement from what you're doing.
And it's it's hard because I mean, to my knowledge anyway, I'm the first native Oneida in New York to be a physician.
Yeah.
And that's I don't know whether to be proud of that or to say it,
Oh, you should be.
oh my goodness, because can you imagine if of anyone saying they're of any racial ethnic group saying,
Yeah.
back in 1991, that you were the first,
Yeah.
Oneida
person that
Oneida
they-
doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it just seems.
How did you feel about it? Like
I
bearing the
don't
weight?
even think I even thought about it at the time, but
Mm.
but you think about it in the aspect
Mm.
of, of how you can,
Serve your
uh,
people.
yeah.
Mm.
And I think there's always a lot of fear,
Mm.
sometimes rightfully so, that within the Native community, that if you become educated, you're just going to leave. You leave your people and leave your ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but when you're able to come back and be a part of the community,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and help to serve them,
Yeah.
then I think that is an amazing thing, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you really got to look at yourself and
Yes.
say, are you improving the lives and the people
Yes.
around you?
Yeah.
Well, I think, not to, you seem like a humble person.
Mm.
I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable,
Mm.
but I think you represent something that not just for Native Americans, just
Yes.
people in general,
Yeah.
that tends to be lost. That
Yeah.
is, your job is a calling.
Yeah.
It's not just an occupation.
Yes. Yes.
Now,
It's a call.
I don't know if I heard it right when the two of you were talking before we started the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Did I hear correctly that you're still sleeping at the hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you
you-
said you sleep at the
Yeah.
hospital.
You were counting your days till retirement by how many days?
Unfortunately, it's
700 something more.
yeah,
Is
it's,
it?
I got another
So
6+ years left.
I'm a little bit surprised that a doctor with your experience is still sleeping at the hospital. Is that normal, or is it because you see it as a calling?
Mm.
I would say, at least for my particular, what I do, my position is that I work at Upstate Medical University. I'm a
He teach also in the
I'm a-
medicine.
Oh,
I'm a faculty there.
Faculty.
Okay.
I
Oh,
treat
wow.
medical.
Doctor.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
train medical
Professor
students and
Thompson,
residents.
Yeah,
Dr.
professor.
Thompson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Assistant professor.
I'm going to
Which is
start
a whole
having
nother
this.
issue.
We got to
because-
salute him now. He's
I love being just
Yeah.
an assistant
So
professor.
he mentored. The fact of the matter
Right.
is that he mentored also students.
yeah, that's
You know?
great.
And like what he said, it needs mentoring. Those native people who are younger, they need mentoring, and this is what exactly he's doing.
Yeah.
And I salute you, sir, for that. Yeah.
I think what's unique about
Yeah.
so I do OB, a
Mhm.
lot
Yeah.
of OB, delivering babies, but we actually work at Krause Hospital here in Syracuse,
Mhm.
New York, and Krause is what they call the regional high risk center for essentially
Oh.
from Canada to Pennsylvania and halfway to Rochester,
Is
and
that
halfway
right?
to
Yeah.
Albany.
That's the coverage.
So we just like
You get the hard
upstate
cases.
would be like the trauma regional hospital or
Goes there.
Burns Regional Hospital, where they bring all the trauma or burn
Right.
patients and your very complex obstetrical patients.
Yeah.
The sickest of the sick who are pregnant are going to come to Krause,
Mm.
and so that's where I work, and
Mhm.
those are the patients that I take care of.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and that demands you to and you also have residents that are there that are training
Right.
and medical students, so they have to
Yeah.
you have to be there.
So,
There has to be someone there 24 hours a day, 7
That's what
days
you
a
do.
week.
wow.
So
You're
it's
still
just that
resident until now.
type of specialty.
Yeah.
So,
Which makes it unique is that there's always an obstetrician that's there,
All the time.
board
All the
certified,
time. Yeah.
a board certified anesthesiologist in
Right.
cases where a board certified neonatologist.
24/7.
They care for the
I didn't know
itty-bitty
that.
little babies. They're there
24/7.
24/7. So it's a very unique
Complex.
so
unique system.
is Golisano Hospital, is that part of that? Or
So Golisano Children's Hospital is a part of Upstate,
okay.
and that's a separate
Yeah.
hospital itself.
Oh, we had a friend, pastor years ago now. We're talking 6, 7, 8 years ago. His wife had a baby, but she had it early.
Yeah,
And this baby fit
yeah,
in the palm of his hand because it was so early.
yeah.
And I remember going up there. I don't know if you remember
Yeah.
Pastor Huggins, but I remember going there. We were praying for the baby and the family.
Yeah.
And I was just, how can this little tiny, and his parents were, thin and
Yeah.
tall.
Yeah.
And this little tiny thing, it was just incredible. I walking out of there just having great respect for what you guys do. This
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's one of those doctors who took care of that thing.
It's possible.
Yeah.
And it is a team. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not
it's a
just
team.
it's not just
Yeah.
it's not just the OB. It's
Yeah.
the nurses,
whole team.
the staff,
Yeah.
the anesthesiologists, the neonatologists that they care for the babies, and all the doctors and nurses and people that are around that.
Yeah.
It is a team effort.
Mhm. Yeah, it's so. Having said that, Doc, what is the common health challenges that the Native people encountered?
Yeah, you
The
mentioned
common-
health disparities.
Yeah,
That's a very
So
good
the
question.
common, not only the normal, the non-native, but specific to the native.
Yeah.
What's the common challenges that you face as a OBGYN for these people, and not only in OBGYN
Yeah.
thing in general? What's the common
Yeah.
challenge?
In general, I mean, you're going to have diabetes.
Oh,
You're going to have high blood pressure,
Mhm.
heart disease, issues of weight and your diet,
Mm.
and cancer,
Mm.
and then all your mental health type
Yeah.
disorders.
Yeah.
You mentioned, if I heard you right, you also mentioned, did you say mortality rates for births
Mm.
for Native?
Yeah.
Sure. So if you look at what's the highest, so two separate things. One is if you're looking at pregnancy itself on a
Mhm.
national level,
Mhm.
the highest rate of maternal
Stillbirth.
deaths, unfortunately during pregnancy, is with Native Americans.
Is that right?
Why is that?
So for some of the things we were just talking about, so you have all those medical problems.
Okay, the mom
But
has
then
those-
you have lack of access to care.
Oh,
So
yeah, yeah.
like I mean I worked in Arizona
Yeah.
from 95 to 2004, and I started out at the Phoenix Indian Medical Center, which is a referral area for natives all across Arizona,
So
except
very
for
rural.
the Navajo Nation. Yeah, very rural. Or Alaska. Alaska.
Yeah.
And the amount of distance that you have to travel and the lack of access to care
Yeah.
and the resources. So all of those things, make for sometimes not the best results. But if and I'm not sure where this podcast is going on. It's not the best topic in the world,
Mhm.
but if you look at Onondaga County, which Syracuse is in, and you look at maybe this is what you're referencing, premature rate of death.
Yes.
Mhm.
Not the best topic that this
Or
does,
still
Right.
something.
but
like
it
that.
kind of gives an idea,
Mm.
and you kind of scratch and go, "Wow, I never realized that."
Mm.
And I'll ask you a question. Of all the places in Onondaga County, who do you think has the highest rate of what municipality
Mm.
or area has the highest rate of premature death in Onondaga County?
Well, Miguel, you live from around here. I live in Oneida.
I
And Oneida would be a different county.
Okay, yeah.
I would have no clue, but I would assume it would be the county that has the
Well, like the county of Onondaga, so
all the towns and cities.
towns and municipalities
Yeah.
and areas within Onondaga.
I would say it's probably the poorest,
Which
the poorest town or the poorest. I wouldn't know. I mean, boy, I don't know.
Sure.
Tell me.
So if you look at Onondaga County itself,
Yeah.
and Onondaga County, like all counties in New York State, come out with a county health assessment. So
Okay.
based on their 2025
Mhm.
Onondaga County health assessment, the lowest rate of premature death, that means
The lowest.
less than the age of 65,
Yeah.
Mhm.
is, if I remember correctly, is in Manlius.
Oh, that's
At
nice.
More affluent.
give or take
Yeah.
about 13%.
Mhm.
Okay.
But the highest one.
And Syracuse, city of Syracuse, has approximately 35%.
Mm-hmm.
That means of all the people who pass away,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what age,
Yeah.
35% of those
Die
people who
prematurely.
pass away
Mhm.
are less than the age of 65.
Wow.
So 100 people
Yeah.
die.
Right. Wow. That
and
seems
30,
high.
35 35 out of those
Yes.
100 are going to be less than the age of 65.
So a third
So that
of people that die in Syracuse died
it's like I think it's 34.
Say over
point
yeah.
something,
So
like
over a
40,
third of the people that die in Syracuse
Mhm.
die prematurely,
less than the age of 65.
less than under
Wow.
65. A third.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But that's not the highest.
Wow,
Oh,
that's not the highest.
Okay.
So that's the lowest.
No, that's
Yeah.
manliest is the lowest. He
That's
said
the lowest, yeah. And then Syracuse next.
The highest is the Onondaga Nation
Wow.
at
He said-
41.4%.
Oh my!
I'm sorry again. Come again.
41.4%.
41.4%. Wow.
And the people at Onondaga,
Okay.
you know, so it'd be all deaths. And as I say, it's not the best topic, but it
Yeah.
gives you an idea of
Yeah, yeah.
health disparity and
Yeah.
the need for resources and need
Yes.
for care.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, the premature death rate that we're talking about includes everybody. So there's unfortunately, it would be babies that pass away,
Yes.
Sure.
and kids that pass away, and accidents,
Yes,
murders,
yes,
and suicides, and
Right,
all
right.
All
those
kinds of reasons of death, cause of death.
bad stuff, right?
Yeah.
In addition to heart disease and a heart attack and
Right,
stroke
right.
and cancer and all those things. But a lot of those issues aren't occurring at Onondaga. So, but a lot of the which just hurts just hurts me, just hurts my heart, is that a lot of the things are preventable. Diabetes,
Yes.
and high blood pressure and heart attack and maybe cancer and all those types of things are preventable.
Yeah.
And
Well, let's talk
and
about
how
that.
do we
Yeah.
how do we prevent some of those things
Yeah.
and where are the proper resources? So if you look on a national level, and these are just some general type statistics, give or take. I haven't looked at it in a period of time, but these are general numbers itself, and they may be off by an amount of money.
Yeah.
But if you take per capita spending per person in the United States on healthcare, so if you take someone who's on Medicare, which is typically for someone over the age of 65, you have Medicare type insurance, then the average amount of money that is spent on your healthcare per year in the United States, give or take, is somewhere in the neighborhood of, if I remember correctly, like $14,000 a year.
A year.
14?
Give or take.
Oh man.
Give or
that's
take.
so low.
But and then if you look at private insurance, it's going to be a little bit lower than that. And then if you look at the amount of money that's spent per person, if you're on Medicaid, it's going to be lower than that. If you look at the amount of money spent per person in the federal prison system, it's going to be lower than Medicaid.
Okay.
But the amount of money spent for a Native person through Indian Health Services per Native individual in the United States is at the bottom.
Wow.
Is less than that.
Wow.
So if you have a lack of resource money that is going towards Native people, they live in rural areas, they live far distances from the hospital.
Right.
They don't have the political capital. Then you become invisible, and sometimes one of the worst forms of oppression is that invisibility, and we never want to be invisible.
I don't think people realize this. We live our life, we do our thing, and we don't realize that there are certain, to use your word, disparities like this. That you see challenges, but you don't see it unless you live it, right?
Right.
But let's talk.
But I will say that there are fine examples of healthcare, and if you look at and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Oneida Nation is doing an amazing job. You know, through their clinic itself and under their leadership.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing a great job in terms of
That's great.
Because they want to see good health come for their people. And I think all tribal nations want good health comes for their people.
Well, can we talk about the solutions to some of these things? Because let's take diabetes.
And so does Onondaga.
Yeah.
And all the native nations in New York State. They all want.
Nobody wants to be sick.
They all want the best outcome so they're citizens of their nations.
Right. Yeah. So let's talk about some of these common things that plague people. So, let me. Diabetes, is that like there's nothing you can do? You're going to end up getting it because as you age. Or is that something that is preventable?
Sure. I mean, there's lots of reasons why people think that the natives have a higher rate of diabetes, and some of it is diet based. So if you look at days of what we call pre-colonization, you're living on a more of
the Three Sisters.
The Three Sisters eating those crops.
Yep. So
it's very healthy.
Yeah, very healthy. Very lean meat, fish and deer, poultry, turkey and those type of things. So it's a very lean type structure. And even the foods have changed. So when you think you said Three Sisters, but the corn was even different. The corn, the more traditional corn,
not engineered,
is a lower carb, type corn itself.
Wow.
And you're more active, and you're always outside
playing lacrosse. So
and you're just trying to survive.
Yes, sir.
And so
water as opposed to
low rates. Yeah, so lower rates of diabetes itself. But when you very quickly into a society change your food type structure, then to a more process-based diet, then you have these higher rates of diabetes. So, for example, when I was in Arizona, the Pimas that are there, 100 years ago, their diet in Arizona was completely different than what their diet is now, just on the outskirts of Phoenix, which is a huge metropolitan city. And it's much more processed food, so they have some of the highest incidence of diabetes in the world. And so that's a major thing. So how do you get back to that type of diet?
Well, that's my question. So if you were, let's say someone's watching and they're dealing with diabetes, or have someone they care about. One of the challenges that we've talked about this is that we present this humongous, all these things you have to do, and it seems so challenging that people just don't even bother to try. But if you had to say, look, I'll give you a couple, 1, 2, 3 things to just do this to help address this, what would be, say, 1 or 2 or 3 things that you would say specific to address diabetes that you think would be helpful to someone?
Just to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one is stay away from processed foods. So you want to eat a more wholesome plant-based type diet with leaner meats and fish. Some call it a Mediterranean diet or a whole plant-based diet.
What's an example of a lean meat that they get today?
So I would say
deer.
Well, deer would be one.
Venison.
Buffalo. Venison is deer. Buffalo. But I would try to limit your amounts of beef,
chicken,
and pork.
Okay.
So beef is not a lean meat.
Not going to be a lean meat. So lean means less fat.
Correct. Right.
But if you are going to do it, then try to find your leanest cuts possible.
Okay. Gotcha.
But then when you're talking about, for a lot of people,
pork,
those leaner meats, those leaner cuts of less fat in meats are going to be more expensive. So what's if you're living on and you're just trying to have your kids eat
Meat and Smith.
pay for your heat.
Yeah. Spam. People,
You know,
that's not
what's
lean.
cheaper?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, going to maybe not
Processed.
these days now, but Burger King, McDonald's,
Right.
or buying fresh fruits and vegetables.
Fresh produce.
And it doesn't last as long. The
Mm.
fruit, rots.
But those are the realities
Right.
of the
And-
situation
and you
itself.
They don't.
So you can't live in a vacuum and say,
Right.
well, you need to go do this.
Mm.
But
Right.
but what you can do is, if you have the ability,
Mhm.
is you want to eat a healthier diet like we just talked about.
Mhm.
Exercise
Mhm.
to what you're able to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Don't smoke.
Yeah.
So exercise, no smoking, and as it relates to diet,
Mm.
the leaner meats. And I was just in my mind, I was thinking you mentioned deer and buffalo. Chicken would be an easier one to go to, right?
turkey,
Turkey.
fish.
Fish.
Yeah.
And sometimes the leaner
Pork is
leaner meats
definitely
might be.
not.
Yeah, you would want to try to limit like bacon.
Oh,
Bacon.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you just caused a revolution
I
there.
know. I'm sorry.
People will hate you. Hey.
Oh yeah, there we go. Thumbs down.
That's right. That's right. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah,
Don't do the thumbs down. But
Yeah.
so I'm
But
just
I think if you Google,
Yeah.
but it's not just for diabetes.
Yeah.
It's
all kinds of diseases.
so when you look at number one killer in the United States, heart disease, right?
Yes, exactly.
So how are you going to decrease heart disease? Well, the thought is that a lot of that heart disease is due to inflammation in your body, and that inflammation is due to your diet, and your diet is causing you to be pre-diabetic, which is just a silent type thing.
Yeah.
So part of it is also getting in with your doctor and checking for pre-diabetes and seeing what your sugar level
Yes,
is.
exactly.
And
And I love soda.
Well,
stay away from sugary
Low
products. Yes, you don't want to be
my wife and I.
candy and sugars and all those things.
So my wife is, she's very much into trying to be healthy and things, and so she does a pedometer on her phone.
Yes.
And so she tries. Her goal is 20,000 steps.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, I have probably about a month or so ago. I don't keep track of it just because we're so busy in meetings and things. I thought I was getting 10,000 steps a day until I started keeping track of it.
Yeah.
And I'm not a lazy person. I move around. I do things.
Yeah.
But if I was getting 5,000 steps, that was a lot because I sat down.
Yeah.
I'm sitting down all the time. I'm in meetings. I'm sitting or standing, but I'm not moving.
Yeah.
And so I've made an effort every day to get 10,000 steps every day. And it's there are days my wife and I were just walking around the living room in a circle.
Yeah.
Because we need to meet that goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't realize you think you can have a job,
Yes.
you can work, you
Yeah.
can be busy,
Mhm.
but you're not exercising, you're not moving.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people think that they're getting exercise when the doctor tells them
Mhm.
you have diabetes. What are you talking about? I work, I do this.
Mm.
No, you're not moving.
Yeah.
You're up, but
Yeah.
you're not moving.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
anything helps, and I may, be wrong, but there's not a secret to 10,000 steps a day.
Right.
Any steps is
Right,
better than
right.
no steps.
Mhm. Yes, exactly. I agree with that.
But you have to want to, in some way or another, you have to be motivated to want to do some of that
Yeah.
in terms of, sometimes you can do even these little things. I've heard it referred to as exercise snacks.
Yeah.
So instead of, look, I don't got time. You
Yeah.
don't understand my schedule. I don't have time for
Yeah.
a half an hour of going out for a walk. And
Yeah.
it's,
Right.
we got 2 feet of snow outside, and
Yeah.
what do you want
Yeah.
me to do? But walking around your house a little bit, or if you can't even get up off your couch, it's
Yeah.
just moving your legs, lifting your legs,
Yeah.
lifting your arms.
Mm.
Just
Yeah.
any type of
Just to
activity,
move something.
any
Right.
activity that you can do.
Yeah.
So diabetes, you said high blood pressure.
Yeah.
High blood pressure,
disease.
heart
Disease,
disease. So
Number one.
how do you read? You have you can and getting a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
There's all these type of things that someone who's a lot smarter than me once sat down and said, if you're like, I'm 61 years old,
You're still young.
and where do you want to be? Envision your life, your children, or your future. Like I have three boys. Imagine their life 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, and what they're going to be doing in their life. Or you're, married, my wife's life, and and how are you, if you want to be there for those milestones 10 years from now, 20 years from now, maybe 30 years from now, how are you going to be there? How are you going to get there? And you just start to map it out a little bit. And, it's whatever I think you can do to try to motivate yourself.
Take control of your life a little bit more than maybe you have in the past.
And I think it's for anything that you're interested in, if you want to go, from to maybe it's having a better mind, or maybe having a better health, or just being a better person itself.
Yes, exactly.
You the only way that you're going to walk is by taking a step.
Yeah.
Right.
And no matter how little step that is,
it's still a step.
It's still a step.
So one last thing, Doc, before we close this thing, for those Native American, probably somewhere accidentally watch this thing, By the way, we are indigenousnationpodcast.org. So remember that. And by chance, Native Americans all throughout the United States wanting to be or considering to be in the medical field, what is your advice or encouragement?
Sure, absolutely. If you're interested, is to look up and if you want to go in the medical careers itself, is the Association of American Indian Physicians, or a number of Native physicians that would love to be able to talk and work with you.
Yeah.
If you're within Central New York itself, is to reach out to Upstate.
Yeah. Is there any certain number or contact or email or website?
Maybe we can provide one. I don't have the exact number off the top of my head.
We can put it in the comments.
But certainly we can do that.
We'll put in the comments.
But before we do end, I think it is important to recognize the land that we're on. We're on the land of the Onondaga, and the Onondaga Nation itself.
Yes.
They have done such an amazing job of working to improve the health care of their people.
Yes.
And we thank them for it.
And I thank them
so
personally for it. And also, and I'm a Naida, and to thank the Naida for everything that they're doing to help their people and the health of their people, and the leadership of both communities that are trying so hard. And all the other Native nations in New York, who I know that are also doing the same. You have when I talk to people, and maybe you can feel this or maybe not feel it. I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
But when I talk to people, they say, "Well, why do I want to help a bunch of Native people?" And there's a small community. We have other communities, and I say, you know what? The dream of being a doctor, and I'm sure the dream of being a pastor, is that, I just want to change a life. I want to start out. I want to change the world. I want to change a life. I want to change a soul, right? I want to do my best to help somebody.
Better person.
Be a part of the solution.
Yeah.
There, as a physician, as a Native physician, when I look at that, I say there are few opportunities that you have in your life that change the trajectory of an entire people.
Wow.
And when I look at the Native people within Central New York, my friends and my relatives and people I grew up with, and knowing the leadership of the communities within these areas who are trying so hard for the citizens of their areas, I see this amazing desire to change the direction of people, make it healthier for the benefit of them, and that's an amazing thing, especially in this crazy world that we live in. that you have leaders that are so interested in helping their community.
Wow, that's wonderful. Well, anyway, any last word before we pass to Miguel?
I just thank you. I
Okay.
thank you for this
Yes,
wonderful
yes.
discussion, the opportunity to
We thank you as well.
to
for-
be a part of your awesome podcast, and I just want to say thank you again.
Well, we want to say thank you to you, Dr. Thompson. I think, as I was listening to you sharing what you were sharing there at the end, it reminded me there, and I don't remember exactly where it is. There's a, and it's rude to usually people to call you when you're on a podcast, but there's a text in the Bible, and it hasn't come to mind, but it basically says this. It talks about when people die, and it talks about that there's a blessing to it. Their works follow after them.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about what are you engaged in? The works you engage in, they follow you after you die. Meaning that you can make an impact on your world even after your death.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of have to decide that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So for example, in you're looking at medicine as a calling, and what you're doing is you're impacting people, and we don't want this to happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
But even after you pass, all the good that you've done lives on after you.
The legacy.
And so thank you for your care, your dedication. We want to encourage Indigenous people everywhere.
Yeah.
Dream big, hope big, work hard.
Yeah.
You can be anything that you want to be. Blaze the trail.
Yeah.
I mean, do we have any Native American astronauts yet? I don't know if we do or not.
It's interesting. There was one from Chickasaw,
Wow.
and another a gentleman, and it was a one who is a woman. I can't remember where she was from.
Yeah.
But there were.
Well,
not anything.
Yeah.
Very, very recently.
Yeah.
We
Maybe
need trailblazers. That's
maybe
right.
Someday again.
Yeah.
We want an Indigenous person to be the first one to step foot on Mars. How's that for a goal?
That'd be awesome.
But we want you to dream big.
Yes,
You can
dream
be
big.
whatever you want to be.
Yeah.
Yes, it's hard work, but I'm sorry. I think probably Indigenous peoples know more about hard work than probably other groups who have things maybe handed to them. So thank you for being with us on the podcast. And
Appreciate it.
Effer,
Well, Miguel.
I'll let you have the last word. Then we'll.
Yeah. So, Miguel, thank you so much for having with us here, and I'm so glad that you, Doc, came. I know you are super busy, but I remember the things. It was a story from a friend when the great creator sent someone riding in a canoe, stone canoe.
Mm-hmm.
The man of peace came, and he called all the leaders of the nations, and he wanted to gather these all leaders of the nation and then talk to them about peace and be united. And I remember that part of that unity is not just only peace, but also healthy community.
Mm-hmm.
And being at peace, if you are that healthy, is not peace at all. So yes, being peaceful and also healthy community and nation is a great way to go for all the nations, not only on Andaga, not only on Oneida, but all the nations in the world, to have this healthy lifestyle to become peaceful as well. So again, friends in the air, thank you so much for watching. If you have comments, comment below. And once again, we will put right there down there in our
comments section.
Comments the contact of Doc. If ever somebody's interested, we'll put the contact over there and who's to contact with, so that in that way we can somehow promote these things to our friends and fellow watching of this podcast right here. So.
Well, thank you for coming.
You.
Been an honor, and we will see you all next time.